Yo, it's New Sisters of Sports. My name is Aleja Adeboale, and this is the show that you love, and most people love to hate, but hate to love. I have with me today, I have Rokukachi with me, and of course, I have our boxing experts in the house as well. I have Shiya Ajayi with me. It's going to be a show packed with actions because we saw what Dr. Davis did to Rhea Garcia with that body shot. We'll be talking about that. And for the first time in the history of the Premier League, we're having a Manchester derby in the final of the FA Cup. And for the first time since 1957, we are having the first time that a team will get to the FA Cup finals without conceding a goal. Pep Guardiola is a GOAT, whether you like it or not. I'll start with you, Kachi, to introduce yourself.
Sports fans, thank you so much for having me. I was in and out last week, but that still didn't stop this show from dissecting all the amazing sporting news. Um, it's looking like the reality has set in the Arsenal camp. They dropped 6 points over 3 games. Uh, I would have said they are looking at their rear view mirror, but that's not what's happening now. It is a neck and neck race with Manchester City. However, I want to give big kudos to the Arsenal women for getting an away draw against Wolfsburg in the semi-finals of the Women's Champions League. We are not going to talk about that. I can't wait to discuss boxing with Shay. Stay tuned for a great one.
All right, perfect. Shay, introduce yourself, please. Hey there.
Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to the show this week. Quite an eventful weekend. As a Manchester United fan, kind of a bittersweet, losing out in the Europa quarterfinal, but getting to the FA Cup final.
Final.
I think that's a good one for the team. And also, what's a sparkling weekend for boxing. Seeing two superstars undefeated facing each other, talking about Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. What a fight and what a knockout! Stay tuned.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Shay. And I'm going to stay with you, Shay. Basically, just to give us like exactly what we had with the Dota Davis versus Ryan Garcia bout. How that went, what happened, how was it lost? That body shot was crazy. I saw that and I felt okay. This could actually kill someone that is not a boxer. But then, but give us a little bit of gist about it, and of course, feel free to gist about it with Kachi, and give us where the match was, which was won.
Yeah, thank you very much, Depo. Like you rightly said, a non-boxer cannot actually see that kind of position. I'm very sure you probably have maybe four broken ribs and probably the lung being punctured or the liver being punctured. But on the night, I can't say quite well. It was a fantastic bout between two boxers. Ryan Garcia, obviously confident on the night, came into to try as much as possible to utilize his height and reach. He started much more confident on the night. It was much more aggressive compared to Tank Davis on the night earlier in the fight. But you know, as you as you know, like I always say, Tank Davis is one fighter that is very, very skillful, talented, has power, and at the same
Mhm.
time knows how to make good use of the ring. So on the night, Ryan Garcia was quite able to try to use his jabs because really, if you look at it, there's a height there, there's a reach there. But I think where the game was, where that bout was actually lost, as far as I'm concerned, looking at it, is that I think Ryan Garcia decided to depend too much on that left hook. it was really forcing it as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, which was my pre-match analysis about this bout. Tank knows the power of Ryan Garcia is about the left hook, and I think he planned well for it. Most times, he was ducking down. Also, one other thing in boxing is when you're taller than a fighter, it's actually not so easy to punch down. Because if the fighter is a ducking fighter, it gives you almost an impossible what's it called? Way to knock that person. Because if he's shorter than you and he's ducking at the same time, you are like, it's not that easy to punch down, and you're also fighting somebody that is punching down. Now, Gervonta Davis is deadlier when he gets on the inside, because we know that he has the power. And he did that in the second round when he knocked Ryan Garcia down in the second round. He was able to come inside and unleashed his power left hook, which caught Ryan Garcia straight in the face. That was the first thing. Going on into the bout, I think Gervonta Davis still dominated, and on the card, I'm very sure was well ahead of Ryan Garcia. But obviously, the same thing happened again in the 7th round. Ryan Garcia went for the left hook once again, and Tank ducked and had the opportunity to come on the inside and unleash that ferocious left hook, and that was it. Obviously, the two differences, you see someone with better experience, someone that's fought almost all the big guns in that weight, the dangerous guys, the taller guys, the shorter guys, he has defeated them. And you know what? This bout makes it the 7th undefeated fighter that Gervonta Davis will be knocking out. Knocking out, not beating. This is a dangerous guy. And it's I don't know so much I can say about him. He's a dangerous boxer. He's very good on the inside. He can grab, he can move around, and his confidence.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That really showed that this is one of the only fighters that have actually gone 3 different weight classes to become a champion. There's nothing else to say about the man.
All right, perfect. Kachi, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was what boxing needed. I know everybody keeps talking about the heavyweight division, but having read through different reports, analysis, post-match interviews from experts of the game, who fortunately share the same sentiments that I share, this was a breath of fresh air. In the sense that 2 of the very best, probably not at their prime yet. You could still argue that Ryan Garcia still has some rooms to get to the elite level that Tank Davis currently is at. However, it takes nothing away from the fact that right now, having both of them fight each other was probably the biggest fight not in the heavyweight division. And the reason why I said it was a breath of fresh air was these guys, as soon they did not back down from negotiation. Tank Davis decided to split his purse, it took way lower than he usually would take to make this fight happen. Now, a lot of people will say Ryan Garcia lost, but I don't think yes, he lost the fight, but he did not lose credibility. To Shei's point, throughout the course of the fight, you knew that Davis was leading on the cards, but it didn't look lopsided, if I have to put it that way. In spite of the fact that probably since Floyd Mayweather, I have not seen a fighter with so much movement and off-jab defense like Tank Davis. Very low center of gravity, but still moving, ducking. It made punching him so difficult. But Garcia was still able to land some. I think he's going to learn a few lessons. I saw some videos after the fight, which shows me that Garcia is also very humble. They exchange phone numbers
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he could obviously tell that there is a level that Tank Davis is at that
Right
I
now,
am not yet
yeah, it
at.
needs to attain. Yeah,
Yes, big credit because for any other fighter, that second round knockdown was a flush hit. He shouldn't have gotten up from it. It was the first time Garcia would be knocked down in his career. He
yeah.
handled that knockdown well,
Well,
to really be honest. And I want to re-echo what you said. The body shot was so bad that if it was a non-trained individual that was hit, I'm serious, it could have led to serious internal bleeding, ruptured lung, or it could have fractured a rib that could have
yeah,
punctured the lung. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Garcia took that hit, stood for another 5 to 10
Uh,
seconds
yeah, yeah.
before his body told him,
No, you can't do this no more, man.
just just
Yo, we
just let
got
it go.
Campbell.
But it was
Yeah,
a breath
yeah.
of fresh air. It's unlike the heavyweight guys who look for Kachi and Debo to fight against every time. The best two fighters in their
In that
weight
division.
class decided to go at it, even though there was no title at stake. For me, the next thing is for Garcia to improve and probably fight at that one, because I think he had to come a step down. I'm not too sure. He has to
Mhm.
now go to 140, 148. And I think Tank has to move to the 135-pound weight class and see if he can dominate there. But what
Okay.
an amazing night it was
All
for
right.
boxing.
Kashi, I'm going to stay with you. I just have a quick one other question, and this same question can be answered by Sheyi as well. And it borders around, circles around Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury could potentially be fighting against Andy Ruiz. We understood that last time out he was supposed to fight against Alexander Usyk. That did not go through for one reason or the other, money, whatever the problem was, availability of stadium or whatnot. And for me, Andrew Ruiz, for me, within that division, is the best boxer after Tyson Fury. And of course, I stand to be corrected. For me personally,
So
I
better than
feel,
Usyk?
yeah, better than Usyk. Better than Usyk. Because the reason why I say it's better than Usyk is because we saw Usyk fight against
AJ.
AJ. I wanted to use an adjective for AJ, for a lackadaisical AJ, a woeful AJ, so to speak. I'm pretty sure I tagged Sheyi and yourself on the WhatsApp group of an Evander Holyfield fight. I guess against, I don't know who it was against. And what I wanted you guys to see from that fight is not the fact that Evander is a cheat that knocks people's eyes while boxing, but the fact that this guy is big, he's tall, but the way he punches like a featherweight fighter. And that's the same thing that we can see among all these guys. Whether it's Usyk, is Efe Ajagba, is Tyson Fury himself, even Donata Wilder, Wilder himself. The only person I see that combo from that closely is still Andy Ruiz. That's the only person I still see it from. So I feel fighting for me, and this is my question, for me, I think Usyk, even though he can adapt, he has great adaptability, I also prefer Usyk compared to Andy Ruiz. And that's the question I want to ask you. If you were Tyson Fury, would you be choosing? Will you be choosing Alexander Usyk, or you would just go for Andy Ruiz?
An interesting question, and it's hard for me to say if I was Tyson Fury, because I already just blasted the heavyweight division for not having desire. So it lets you know where what my answer would be. My answer would be, if I was a Fury, I would have the desire. Do you know what it means to be called one of the best fighters ever in the heavyweight division, but never called an undisputed heavyweight champion. I think that is the legacy Fury is missing right now. And if I was a Fury, that would be the legacy I would be trying to pursue, which is to unify the belt and be known as the undisputed heavyweight champion. Now, all that being said, I know that ultimately they may have to come back and fight themselves, each other. And I mean Usyk and Fury, simply because of the potential rape and assault case that was just leveled against Andy Ruiz by his ex. I don't know if it's an ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. Wow. That may throw spanner in the works of a potential matchup in July. The question to save time would be, if I was Fury, I would be looking at legacy right now. And the next legacy for me is to be called, even if it's for only once, to be called the undisputed heavyweight champion.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Shay, what about you?
Okay. I think if you ask me, I think Fury is not ready for that bout. Fury is actually not looking at retiring in any time soon. Because I think two ways is Fury losing to Usyk and triggering an opportunity to refight him to regain those belts and probably retire, or he wins and retire. Yeah, and retire as an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But I don't think he's ready for that. So another thing is, don't forget that Usyk is actually the fighter you don't really want to enter to when you are not in your best form. That's a tricky bout for Fury at the moment, and I think that is why he chickened out. As far as I'm concerned, for him, Andy Ruiz might just be one of the best to pick at this time. It's a big fight for him. There's going to be kind of big pause, and I can tell you for free, Fury is going to beat Andy Ruiz. Okay. Like I said before, the undisputed fight, I don't see it this year, and I still don't think it's going to happen.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. We'll jump straight into the NBA right now. The NBA series continues. The Grizzlies versus the Lakers, Heat versus Bucks. The Kings matching up on the Golden State Warrior. Flagged foul against Green. Kawhi being called a useless superstar all across the NBA, which is undisputed. The net have been swept by the 76ers, even without their top stars. And the Knicks are matching on as against the prediction of Olawale and, of course, Rakokachi. Actually, I don't even know where to start from. But the Grizzlies. Daniel Brooks did the rubbish that he did. Called LeBron an old man that would have preferred to guard the LeBron of Cleveland and of the Miami. And he actually picked a number which makes it seem as if he was trying to throw the LA Lakers off their game plan. He said he doesn't see LeBron dropping 40. And if LeBron dropped 40, that means the focus will be on LeBron. And LeBron, for most NBA watchers or people that don't really even watch NBA but want to get a little bit of knowledge, LeBron could be arguably the most unselfish player in the history of the NBA. So if LeBron is focused on scoring, that means the game plan of Lakers is going to go off the rail. And once that happens, that means the Lakers are at the mercy of the Grizzlies. But that did not happen. A whooping 35 to 9 points in the first quarter. That was a statement, and I knew from there on that no way the Grizzlies were going to come back from that. No way on earth. But they fought. Ja Morant had 25 points in the fourth quarter. The biggest in the playoffs for a very long time. How do you think the pendulum in this series will swing? 2-1 game for the Lakers right now. Ja is back. Give the Grizzlies the edge that they needed.
Yeah, Ja is back. Probably not the edge they need because Ja did exactly what Dillon Brooks wanted to bait LeBron to do.
Go for
Not only did he score 24 points in the fourth quarter, he single-handedly scored all the Grizzlies' points in the fourth quarter, period. All 24 points scored by the Grizzlies in the fourth quarter was made by Ja, which is what they wanted to bait LeBron into. Because baiting LeBron into becoming a scorer would have meant not facilitating and bringing the rest of the guys But they had their sixth-man, Rui Hachimura, scoring 19 again. Austin Reeves adding another 13, 15 points. D'Lo adding 19. So that's what LeBron does best, making everyone hot. And he quietly going about and getting his 25, 28 points, 3 blocks, 7 assists. Just a quietly efficient day. It was so efficient that LeBron only needed to play 23 minutes of a possible 48, which meant that he's even rested enough for game 4. Credit to Ja for coming back and playing the way he does. But I've argued this many times over. Ja is undoubtedly a superstar, but Ja makes the Grizzlies one-dimensional. And they played better. In the game 2 they won, knowing there was no Ja. The ball was zipping around. Everybody was getting involved. But Dillon Brooks, even though he's a Canadian, like as we both are, I don't think he is ready. Because if you want to be a villain, you must be able to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. The pre-game discussion showed me that LeBron was really ready to facilitate and take over in the fourth quarter. But because they had such some stats for those who like that kind of stats, that is the single largest first quarter deficit in any NBA playoff game in history. And it was the first time that the Staples Center, now called the Crypto.com Center, was sold out for a Lakers game in 10 years. So seeing all that, the Lakers were ready to do business. They took care of business. They still have one more game to defend home court. This series will officially be over if the Lakers get the next game and have to go to Memphis to close it out. Because all they have to do is bait Ja into trying to beat them single-handedly. If that happens again, it makes the Grizzlies very one-dimensional.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you very much for that, Kachi. And of course, the Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Everybody, including myself, I'm thinking the Bucks will win the series, and that's because of a certain guy named Giannis Antetokounmpo, who for me is the best past NBA player right now. And the pendulum has swung already because Giannis is out injured. What do you make of this series? Do you think Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, and the rest of the crew will take the side of the Milwaukee Bucks?
We've always said it that success in the NBA playoff is down to matchup and the luck of being healthy. Now, we knew the Bucks matched up very well against the Heat simply because of a dominant Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, removing him from the game makes that matchup advantage has changed. Now, first of all, I want to send my condolences to the Heat organization and Victor Oladipo, who injured his knee in Game 3 last night and is done for the season. It's a sad thing to see. This was somebody who dropped the bag of a 4-year, $121 million 3 years ago, has gradually played himself into possibly getting a new contract at the end of this season. And just when that looked like it was going to happen, this injury came in again. I hope the Heat does well by him and still offer him the contract regardless of this injury. But we know how tough that can be with players of injury history such as that. Now, back to the question. It is going to be hard for Duncan Robinson to repeat what he did in Game 3, where he could not miss. I think he went 11 for 11 from the free field goal, shooting almost 100%. He shot 100% field goal. that may not happen. Tyler Hero is not the kind of player that you expect to be consistent again. He needs to go
Jimmy too went out injured yesterday as well.
Yeah, Jimmy just got a stinger, but he still came back to finish the game. They built a sufficient lead to allow Jimmy rest that stinger itself. Now, all that being said, the news tells us that Giannis practiced he had a full practice today and is probably likely to play game 4. If the series is split 2-2 back to Milwaukee, then I give the series to the Bucks. But I know we said in 6, it's probably going to be in 7. However, if Giannis is missing for game 4 or is limited in any way from his explosiveness in game 4, as much as I love him, as much as it's a fantastic story, I think the matchup becomes in favor of the Heat.
Oh wow! But actually, that would be nice, Kachi, because that means the 76ers would.
That means we can crown the Celtics as the champions then.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? If what is being for 76ers against the Celtics? That would be a nice one.
Matchup wise, the 76ers have 2 bona fide stars, in Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid.
Come on,
I did not call Harden. Harden is not
no,
it's the truth. The statistics, the numbers tell us that James Harden is not an elite playoff player. He's not playoff Jimmy Butler. He's not playoff Paul George. He's not neither of that.
That's the narrative you come up
with. And the Celtics have all 5 starters of the Celtics right now play at an all-time elite level, at least in this playoff so far. Game 4 is Sunday night against the Hawks. I think they take game 4 and wrap up this series in Boston. It will probably mean that they are both well rested. Yes, maybe the 76ers get one day extra because they've swept. However, in Al Horford, in Williamson, in Jaylen Brown, Tatum, come on, you have to pick your poison. That's really the case. And I don't think the 76ers have the wingspan because James Harden is not Russell Westbrook. Russell will shoot 1 for 19 from the field goal, but he will defend with his life. James Harden will shoot 3 for 20 and will not get you any defensive stuff. That is the matchup advantage that the Celtics have.
You're just a hater, Kachi. You're just a bloody hater. And of course, the Golden State Warriors right now still training 1-2 against the Sacramento Kings. This is another crazy one. The Golden State Warriors right now are leading. They're in the 3rd quarter of the game. So much cannot be said about that for now. But what can be said is that flagrant foul that was called against Draymond Green. And it was a repetition of what the young man was trying to do against. He did it twice or 3 times before that foul. And clips that I've seen over the internet shows how the officiating has been going against the Golden State Warriors, which I feel is unfair. I know people especially people like someone like you, who say the referees are swallowing their whistles and whatnot. But there should be a little bit of consistency, and I can't see that consistency in any way, form, or fashion. How do you think this is going to go in the long run? Is it going to be a 7 game, especially if the Golden State Warriors take the match?
Split this.
Yeah.
Okay. I totally think it will go to 7 games if the Golden State Warriors take game 4. But we've said it that all Sacramento has to do is just win all their 4 games at home, and they'll take this series. To be very honest, I was surprised that Draymond was suspended and nothing was done to Sabonis.
He held on to his leg. I don't understand that.
Exactly. And it's crazy how the NBA, who we all know likes to give people second chances, will now say, oh, they looked at the history of Draymond Green, not just the act of that day. They looked at the act of that day and his antecedents to give him that suspension. I think that is bull jive. I think it says they're inconsistent because in the very next day between the 76ers and the Nets,
Yeah.
Embiid had something similar where he kicked someone in the groin.
Embiid zone was just was plain silly. I don't even understand how that went on.
If they wanted to go by the letter of the law, because this is the thing, you eject Draymond for what should not have been an ejectable offense. You did not eject Embiid for what should have been an ejectable offense. You ejected James Harden for what should not have been an ejectable offense. You now came and ejected, because say what you may about Dillon Brooks or whatever, I don't think that was a flagrant 2 that warranted an ejection. I don't think so. This is my personal opinion. I mean, man up, it's playoff basketball. You have to push and kick each other. My personal opinion. All I'm saying is the NBA referees have not been consistent all year long. And the NBA playoffs is showing that. Now, for the Kings Warriors, the momentum obviously will be on the side of the Warriors if they are able to split this. But that crowd in Sacramento, they are like the extra player on the court. And I just totally believe that they are going to bait Draymond into making another stupid mistake when the game goes back to Sacramento. So based on that, I think it ends in 7 in favor of Sacramento now.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't know. I prefer the Sacramento for the Lakers, because I still believe the Lakers.
Matchup wise, I prefer the Warriors for the Lakers. The Lakers make it. Matchup wise, the Lakers don't match up well to Sacramento. Those boys are faster. The Lakers and the Warriors are like age mates that are fighting each other. They are elder statesmen. They have the same mileage on their legs. It's just who can endure better. That is why I think the matchup favors the Lakers.
True that. I believe that's most people's opinion as against mine. And of course, just before we go on this segment of the show, like I said, the Knicks are going ahead 3-1 against the Cavs, or B to Kachi and Olawale. The Nets has been swept. But before we go, one thing, can we officially agree that Kawhi Leonard is the most useless superstar in the history of the NBA?
It's hard to think of anyone who is worse. Because the best form of capability is, or the best form of ability is availability. And Kawhi has not been available for the Clippers. They change owners. They have a great owner. They are moving to their own arena. They have a second good star in Paul George, but their single biggest star has just not been available. Ty Lue, when he played 42 minutes in game 1, Ty Lue said, this is why they've been saving his legs, wrapping him in bubble wrap, so that he can play this type of minutes in the playoffs. He got a knock in game 1. He still played game 2, and then misses game 3 and game 4. Especially when Paul George is not available. It is totally sad. Say what you will about how good or talented he is, you cannot say that about LeBron James. I don't know, and I'm not trying to knock the brother for if you get injured, it's what it is. But come on, what are you doing to bounce right back for your team? I feel so sad for Kawhi. He doesn't even talk too much, enough for us to even get his own side of
his own opinion.
Every time I look at Coach Ty Lue on the bench and I see his facial expression, I feel sorry for him, because the guy is like, what else am I going to do? The person we have given the key to the franchise to.
True. It's
the engine don't knock. For those who speak Nigerian Pidgin English, you will know what I mean when I say Kawhi's engine has knocked and is not available anymore. It is a sad ending. I don't think he gets any new contract in the NBA, personally.
All All right, perfect. We'll go on a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be diving into the world of football quickly, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.